Hey everyone, let's dive right into today's explainer on a pretty fascinating contradiction we're seeing out of Google regarding the llms.txt file. If you're working web development, SEO, or digital strategy, you've likely been keeping a really close eye on how to optimize your site for this massive new wave of artificial intelligence. But right now, if you ask Google how to handle this specific file, the answer you get entirely depends on which Google team you're talking to. It's a genuine paradox, and today we're going to break down exactly what's happening and, more importantly, what you should actually do about it.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll hit the llms.txt paradox, look at why search says to ignore it, why Lighthouse says to use it, give you a simple decision guide, and wrap up with the maintenance dilemma. Okay, Section 1, the llms.txt paradox. Let's look at these mixed signals.
Because really, the big question you're probably asking yourself right now is this file a must-have or a total waste of time? Look, we all know development resources are incredibly precious. Whenever a new best practice supposedly emerges for AI readiness, the immediate instinct is to rush out and implement it, right? But if we do that blindly, we just end up with bloated workflows. So we need to definitively answer if creating this file is a critical step to survive the AI revolution, or if it's literally just a distraction.
But first, what actually is it? Well, think of llms.txt kind of like a robots.txt file, but tailor-made for large language models and AI agents to quickly ingest your site without having to parse through all your complex HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Instead of just telling search engines where they aren't allowed to crawl, it provides a clean, machine-readable summary of your website's content. Sounds incredibly useful on paper, right? Well, let's see what the biggest search engine in the world thinks about it.
Section 2, Search says, just ignore it.
According to the Google search team's brand new optimization guide, you just don't need this for their AI overviews or AI mode. If your main goal is getting your content cited in Google's generative AI features, they explicitly state you should skip llms.txt. They actually lump this file in with other unnecessary tactics like AI-specific rewriting, complex content chunking, and special schema. Basically, their message boils down to, hey, we're Google. Our systems are already smart enough to read normal web pages. We really don't need a special summary file to figure out what your site is about.
And John Mueller, he's a very prominent search advocate at Google, he absolutely shut this down. He pointed out that AI services and bots aren't even requesting the file. For over a year now, the search team has insisted that llms.txt is not a Google initiative. He even compared it to the old keywords meta tag. Remember those? Yeah, search engines haven't used those in decades. Mueller actually went so far as to call building separate markdown pages for bots a stupid idea. I mean, wow, you really don't get a clearer no than that.
And, this isn't just one person's opinion. The top representatives of the search team are completely united on this front. Over at the Search Central Live Deep Dive event in the Asia-Pacific region, Gary Ilyes and Amir Tabal explicitly confirmed that Google is not pursuing llms.txt. So, the consensus from the search department is totally overwhelming. Ignore it, don't waste your time, and focus on making great web pages for humans instead. Case closed, right? Well, not exactly.
Section 3, Lighthouse says, yes, use it.
Because here is where the paradox really hits. On one hand, you have the search docs telling you to skip it entirely, but if you look at the Chrome Lighthouse docs, they officially advise site owners to create the file and place it right in their root directory. It is literally two arms of the exact same tech giant pointing in complete opposite directions.
The confusion really skyrocketed when Lighthouse version 13.3 dropped. Lighthouse is this hugely popular automated tool developers use to improve web pages. Well, version 13.3 shipped with a brand new agentic browsing category, and it's enabled by default. It checks for things like web MCP integration, layout stability, and importantly, it includes an audit specifically for llms.txt. If your server returns an error when Lighthouse comes looking for this file, it flags your audit. You only get marked as not applicable if it simply returns a standard 404 not found.
So, why the opposite advice? The Chrome team argues that browser-based agents legitimately need this file to interact efficiently with your site. Their documentation notes that it's an emerging convention. They make it very clear that this category is totally separate from traditional SEO. They aren't saying this file will boost your search rankings. Instead, they're pointing toward a future where browser-based AI agents, think AI assistants built directly into your Chrome browser, need to quickly navigate your site, book flights, or summarize content for you. For those specific agents, a clean llms.txt file acts like a fast-track map, saving them from crawling your entire complex site structure.
This internal disconnect actually led to a pretty amusing public mix-up. Back in December, some sharp-eyed developers noticed an llms.txt file was actively hosted on Google's own Search Central developer docs. When asked about it on social media, John Mueller simply replied with, and a little skeptical text face. Turns out, an internal platform update accidentally auto-published these files across multiple Google properties. The search team clearly wasn't having it, and they yanked the file down within hours. Yet, the file stayed live on Chrome and web dev properties. It's a literal tale of two Googles.
Section 4. The llms.txt Decision Guide.
So, let's cut through the noise and give you that simple guide we promised on when to use this thing versus when to ignore it. It really boils down to your goals. If your primary goal right now is ranking in Google's AI overviews or just general generative AI search visibility, ignore the file. Spend your time creating high-quality content instead. But if your development team wants to experiment with agentic browsing readiness for future browser-based AI assistants, then yes, go ahead and implement it. The Chrome team's Lighthouse tool will reward you for it, and it's going to help those specific browser agents understand your site a whole lot faster.
Section 5. The Maintenance Dilemma.
Before you rush off to make one, we have to talk about the maintenance dilemma. The issue here is that throwing a basic text file into your root directory is super easy. It takes a few minutes. But websites are living, breathing entities. They change. Categories get added, content is overhauled, structures shift. If you commit to an llms.txt file, you are committing to maintaining a parallel map of your site indefinitely. If it falls out of date, you could end up feeding conflicting or incorrect information to the very AI agents you were trying to help.
So here's the final thought I want to leave you with. Creating all llms.txt is easy, but is maintaining it actually worth your time if Google search is just going to ignore it anyway? Google hasn't resolved this internal split, which leaves the ultimate decision squarely in your hands. Does your current strategy require catering to experimental browser agents today, or is your time better spent mastering the core search fundamentals that Google explicitly rewards? Choose your priorities and let that drive your roadmap. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and we will see you next time.